Okay, first I want to apologise because my YouTube channel is not about the environment, but what's going on in America and around the world now is just unbelievable. In 2020, we just come through the virus, but now this is it. I've never heard anything like this in my life. It's incredible. Very quickly, in Atlanta, another person was killed by a policeman. The guy had turned up in his car, parked across the entrance of Wendy's. He'd fallen asleep. The police were called. They knocked on a window. He opened the door. He'd obviously been drinking. He was drunk. Had a pleasant conversation, everything else. But the police officer had to then ask him to take a breathalyzer test. So he was out the car, did the testing. He was positive, but I couldn't fault it. And he was fine. They were talking bells. Both policeman and the person were perfect conversation, very polite to each other. As soon as they tried to put the handcuffs on, the guy then started to fight, and everything else was both on the floor fighting, and the other guy was on them trying to stop him. And then the guy took the taser from the policeman, which is now classed as a deadly weapon, ran away. The policeman in chase. The guy then turned around and fired the taser at the policeman. The policeman now then had to turn back with fire, and he killed him. Now he's been done for kind of murder and everything else. Now that's one thing, but the pop's come up with it is incredible. This is the most amazing part. Now today, it's not matter if you're black or white or right or wrong, it's how you twist things. Now listen to this. This is the mayor of Atlanta who was an ex-officer.
You've served as a police chief. These are very difficult decisions. What do you make of this charge, and all of these charges today?
Well, we just have to back up just a little bit. First of all, let's look at what happened here. We have a young man that was detained in a Wendy's parking lot for 40 minutes. He'd been arrested before. Saw an interview of him. He was a guy really traumatized by his time being incarcerated. They called a DUI expert over to interview him. When that happened, the die was cast. That officer was there just to make sure he got another DUI stat. They weren't human. Most cops would have just said, hey, park your car, walk home. But they arrested him. They didn't realize the kind of individuals they were dealing with, someone that was very traumatized, scared, didn't want to go back to jail. The fight started. Once the fight started, adrenaline takes over. He secures a taser. He runs. He looks like he fires the taser at the officer. At that point, the officer isn't concerned about how many feet they are apart, how many rounds have been fired from the taser, and he fires back. Now, that being said, he needs to go before justice. But here's what should not happen. You should not have a district attorney who's in a runoff.
Okay, so that's what you hear. But if you watch the video, you'll see it's not all what he's saying. But, you know, if the policeman let him go, who says he's not going to come back 5 minutes later and take the car? Then he could go off to the car, have an accident, maybe kill someone, he'll kill himself, then the policeman won't be in trouble for not arresting him in the first place. Let him walk home. How far is his home? But you've committed an offence. You just can't walk away from an offence. You've been driving a car drunk. You've committed a crime. Okay? So, okay, let him go home, walk home. What happens if he gets killed on the way home because he's drunk? What happens if he does some harm to somebody on the way home as he's walking because he's drunk? Will the policeman then be in trouble again for not arresting him? The police arrest you for committing a crime, but they also arrest you and take you back because of your own safety. That's the thing. And whatever happened, you put the blame straight on the policeman because the guy don't want to go back to prison. The guy himself should realise, if I get drunk and disorderly in a car, I could end up going back to prison. You know, it's the person's fault. I mean, that's what I mean, how they twisted it to blame the policeman. Black on white, it's unbelievable. That's why I've made this video. I just can't believe how people just twist things to make it turn out. By the way, the mayor was black, and the guy who was killed was black by a white man. It's unbelievable.